What's up, folks? David Soto Jr. here, and I am coming to you from Tucson, Arizona. And I'm looking at myself. I'm making a video of myself, and I'm seeing myself smile. And I gotta tell you, it's weird. I guess I'm seeing myself broadcasting. I really like doing this, and I really like looking up and seeing myself. I got my mic in my face, and I'm in my van, and I don't know. That just made me smile. And the reason that's a big deal is because I'm feeling kind of low. I gotta tell you, I don't know if it's the holidays or I'm not sure what it is. But each day I've been feeling a little bit lower and lower. And I just have to, get over it. I'm really looking forward to Christmas. I'll get to spend time with my family, and there'll be a lot of laughing and drinking and eating and fun, good things that normal people get out of life. I guess I am, the whole unemployment thing. I have to realize, and I do realize, I have enough money that I can live a long time, but that's not my goal, right? My goal isn't to be unemployed. My goal is actually to pay off my rental houses. I was going to pay one off next month, with this fucking job, paid me so much money. I was going to be able to pay off one of my rental homes in Missouri, either in January. My goal is January, but to be more realistic, I'd probably have to wait a couple months. I did not want to dump every dime I had and be broke, and so I would have to wait a few months to have what Dave Ramsey calls an emergency fund. But that's my goal. So every day I spend money, and knowing that I don't have any coming in, it hurts a little, because I know that I have these three obligations. I'm debt free. I'm consumer debt, right? So any what's the word? Any unsecured loan, right, where I don't have collateral, I don't have any of those. Those are all paid off. So credit cards, car notes aren't necessarily an unsecured loan, except for the fact that you usually owe more than what the car is worth, so that makes it kind of unsecured. But credit cards, borrowing against my retirement fund, all this dumb shit, I don't have any of that. What I do have is 3 houses, 3 mortgages, and I don't want them. I want to be rid of them, and it's going to cost me money to sell them, or I can pay off the mortgage start paying off the mortgages on them. Either way, that's my goal. My goal is to have zero debt. Right now I have a couple $100,000. Actually, it's not that bad. It's about $120,000 for 3 houses, so that's not bad, right? 120, 100. Is that right? 100 something thousand. My goal is to pay that shit off. Also, I want a ranch out in Colorado, which I don't even know what I would do there, but I definitely want a ranch in Colorado, and preferably the one next to my buddy's place. So every day that I don't have an income that helps me towards my goals, it kind of sucks. And I check my book sales, and they're not selling, and this sucks too. I want to sell books, for fuck's sake, And it hurts every time I check. I look, and nobody ever buys my books. That makes me wonder if they are worth a shit. So, imposter syndrome. Are they worth a shit? What am I doing? Should I even bother with writing these cocksuckers? Now, to be honest, I've sold this 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 month, let's just say December, I sold the most amount of books, of one book in particular, the paperback version of it. No, mind you, I sold a bunch of copies of this book. It's called Pass Your PT Test. Now, if you don't know, I am a retired Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, Missouri Air National Guard, and before I was just, David Soto Jr., I was Primitive Dave, and I had a health and wellness website, and was a MoveNet certified trainer, and also a author on books about paleo diet, etc., etc., etc. And so I took all of that knowledge that I had and I applied it to a specific group of people, the people who, airmen, who could not or were having trouble pass their physical fitness assessment. Back in the day, we used to call it PT test, physical training test, I think. I just burped. I'm trying to be a broadcaster and I just burped, but that's life. So I wrote this book over a period of time. Now, last year in the Air Force, my last year in uniform, I briefed the people on what we used to call a Fat Boy program. Every week, I came in early on Sundays and I briefed and I talked to them and I wrote articles. And I put all those articles together and formed the book, Pass Your PT Test. Some people that were in the audience when I gave those talks about passing their PT test would just roll their eyes and say whatever and blah, blah, blah. And I used to be that person. I used to be one of those people until I realized, like, hey, you're not in shape. Hey, you're overweight. You're too fat to be in the Air Force. That used to be me. I used to roll my eyes and like, what are you talking about? I could run. So anyways, having been one of those people who was on the Fat Boy program and then having been this health and fitness guru, self-proclaimed, I wrote a book called Pass Your PT Test, and nobody bought it. Nobody was buying it. I decided that I wanted to make a paperback version of it. It was very, very thin. I don't even know how many pages it was, like 60 pages maybe. And I had a bunch of them. I turned it into a paperback, ordered a bunch myself, and was going to use them as like very expensive business cards. Hey, my name is Dave Soto, retired Master Sergeant. I can help you pass your PT test. My problem is, how do I get in front of people, right? They say, hey, I see you're in uniform and you're fat. Here's my book. Call me if you need me. You can hire me. So I ended up actually handing out 0 of those books. I just recently threw them all away, along with a bunch of other stuff, books that were just hanging on to. I literally just tossed them in the recycle bin. At least they went to the recycle bin. So what I noticed, though, is that people have been buying that book. And the funny thing is, I don't think anybody bought one in like September, October, November, but they sure as hell have been buying them this month. This month, I've sold 5 copies, which is the most that I've sold in the past 6 months. Compared to the past 6 months, a total, I've sold more in December than I have in the previous 6 months. So I should feel happy for that. I am selling books, right? I am selling these books. I'm not selling 1 million of them, but I'm selling them and I'm getting paid for it. I should be appreciative of that. So I should feel grateful that I'm even selling these books. And my goal is really to make a difference in people's lives, especially airmen's. That would be fantastic. but my Los Chuck, my novella, my baby, is just not selling. Okay, I haven't sold a copy of it in a long time. Although I have 8 reviews on Amazon, and the people who do read it like it, but it's just not, and the follow-up book, which is, I'm even better as a writer, the follow-up book hasn't moved. Nobody, forget about that. Nobody's going to touch that one, or nobody's, I don't know. I don't want to come off as like a baby, being a baby, but it sucks. But in all actuality, what I realize is that these pass your PT test books they're gonna continue to sell. And as people buy them, apply the tools that I implement or that I supplied to them in the book, they're gonna tell their troops, their NCOs, they're gonna tell other people about it. And you're looking at, let's say a young man is having trouble with his PT test. He gets my book, it helps him, he passes it, and then allows him to become promoted. And when he becomes promoted, he has troops under him, and his troops have trouble with their PT test, and he recommends, hey, buy this book. This is what helped me get through my PT test. Which I can, and I can't guarantee, but I guarantee that you'll get the results you need, depending on what your situation is. And so potentially what could happen is people slowly get my book, they buy it, they implement it, and then they pass it on or get more, or as they get older and further in their career, because of my book, they get further in their career, they tell more and more people. So I potentially have a lifetime of book sales. I potentially started a lifetime of, Air Force ain't going nowhere. Now, unless they change their, the PT test, now it's prepared. The book is ready, it's prepared for changes. As long as, if they change the numbers, fine. As long as the waist measurement, the run, the push-ups, and the sit-ups stay in the Air Force physical fitness assessment, the book is evergreen. It'll last forever. So my point is, patience, Daniel-san. I gotta teach my own. I don't have nobody, so I gotta teach my own self my life lessons. Patience, Daniel-san. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I start selling Pass Your PT books, PT test books that were published last year, and I'm getting impatient. A book I released this year, I'm expecting to sell like fucking hotcakes. I got to get my name out there. I got to get exposure. I got to keep at it. I have to be patient. But it doesn't mean I can't. I'm not going to feel a little sad, which I am. But here's the thing. In order to make myself feel better, I'm going to movies. I'm going to go see Guillermo del Toro's Shape of Water. One of my annual goals is to see every movie that's nominated for Best Picture, and now that there's buzz about it, I'm trying to knock those out. I definitely want to see this. I'm a fan, and maybe someday he'll direct. What the fuck's going on right now?